Is I'm going to go over the GoPro versus the DJI action cams for kayaking, by the way. Now, there's been a lot of videos done out there on this topic right here, but I've not seen much for actual water sports and kayaking, and that's what I kind of want to talk about with you guys right here. On my channel, I built this whole channel almost with GoPros, and my buddy Matt, he's been really going on about the DJI Action 5 cameras, so I went ahead and picked one up to put one to the test on my own. Now, I know you're sitting here saying, you know what, you only have a 12. Well, I hate to break it to a lot of GoPro fans, but from 9 to 12, it didn't really increase that much, and that's why GoPro kind of fell off, and they got a great competitor in DJI popped up, and they have really done a good job on making a excellent camera for kayaking and just action sports in general, whether it's mountain biking, motorcycle riding, or anything like that. I think it's a really good option out there. Well, what I'm going to do for y'all in this video is I'm going to give you more of a kayaker's point of view, because there's a lot of things that I see in these comparisons that really don't make any sense for kayaking, because I think the GoPro is still one of the best action cameras ever to exist in existence by far. DJI has just basically improved on it just slightly. And what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to kind of go over all of those features that I like about each one of them, and then I'll do a actual test. Check it out. What I got here is a actual dual mount. So look at this. I can mount both cameras on at the same time and do a same time comparison. So I'll give you an actual on-water test using this mount here in a minute. So stick around for that, because that way you can do comparisons back and forth. And I'll go over the settings and everything that I did on each camera. But let me get into the actual camera itself. I don't have to give any of you an idea of what the GoPro is for kayaking. 99.9% of you use the GoPro, whether it's a Hero 9 all the way up to the 13. I think everybody knows what a GoPro is. What I am going to do is I'm going to kind of tell you my thoughts of what DJI is. So first off, it's a comparison of them. So you can see the lenses on the front are a little larger on the DJI. So it's a wider lens. Now you're like, oh, that's great. Well, for kayaking, maybe not so, because you see how the edges right there, your likelihood of breaking these lenses are way higher than breaking this lens. The durability of a GoPro is phenomenal. These things are so tough. And then look at the back screen. Now that once again, you're like, oh, that's awesome. It runs almost no bezels. Well, GoPro actually has a little bit of bezel, and it's a little rubberized coating on it right here. They have the same kind of rubberized coating, but look how close that bezel is. The screen right there. How many people roll and hit the corner of a camera on a rock? Look at the corner there and look at the corner here. Now that right there is actually a little concerning to me as a kayaker, by the way, that we hit our heads on rocks. Now DJI also includes this cage. So they have this cage mount that goes on it. I think I'm going to run this cage right here, everybody, just to give a little more structure, because that cage fixes that problem. Look at that. It gives a little more durability to it. So there's kind of a plus and negative on DJI. The front screen, who cares about a front screen? Honestly, we don't care. It's on our head. It's filming anyway. Just, is it on? Is there a red light blinking? Red light blinking? Okay, that's fine. Once again, pointless thing right there. Number two, there's another pointless feature. Everybody goes on about this stupid mount right here, but you squeeze that. So this quick mount for kayaking, useless. How many of us is taking this off our helmets like this? Why is that so important than just doing this? Because check this out. So here's GoPro. Here's all I do. Well, there you go. I got my camera off. And I just take the whole thing off. I don't really think I need to worry so much with getting in here and taking that off. Now, how many times are we putting it on different things for kayaking? Not many. For mountain biking, highly recommend this. I love going from chest mount to actual mount on your bike or something like that. Really good for that. Once again, there's a thing that people talk about for kayaking that really doesn't make that much sense to me. Is it cool? I think it's a cool innovation. It's actually not theirs. I think they ripped it off from someone else, honestly. GoPro 13 has it now. It's been available. I think Tilson made it for a while. Different types of companies had that mount. Speaking of Tilson, so here's my actual GoPro batteries. I run my batteries in this case right here. I've had this case forever. I thought everybody had these cases. You have little mounts up here for SD cards. Well, DJI included it. By the way, the packages. Let me get into the packages of this. So here's the packaging. Mine came in right here. There's all the stuff you get with it right here. You get an Enduro battery, a little thumb screw, a mount, this mount right here, a head mount and all that. And then here's how it came right here. It actually came with all this literature, and it came with this. I haven't mounted it on there because I already had one on my helmet, and then a bunch of other crap. Now, it does have a DJI and GoPro both have a really good app. You can edit your footage from both apps. There's no problem. I see no problems at all. In my DJI, I got the Adventure Pack. It was a little more than just a regular camera, but both of them are almost priced identical. I think the GoPro comes in a little higher. This right here came with this kind of mount. They both came with a USB-C cable, by the way. But DJI includes their own little helmet mount right here that would just mount like that. But I'm not going to rip one off just to put this new one on. Personally, I don't really use these. It's basically just a selfie stick. I'm not really that fan of it. But the real reason I got the Adventure Pack was this right here. I recommend getting the Adventure Pack just because you get 3 batteries. Another thing that I got is camera covers. I highly recommend these camera covers. Check this one out. There's the DJI. Almost makes the cameras indestructible. How many times we just throw them in our bags? And I've been running that on my GoPro forever. So that's nothing new to me. As soon as I got my DJI, I just went ahead and ordered one. So right there, that way your lens don't get scratched up. It doesn't get broken inside of something. You know what? And another kind of hack for you, use a beer koozie. These can fit perfect down inside of a beer koozie. Let me go ahead and give you guys a weight and show you what the weight is, because right away I could tell that the DJI was a little heavier. And sure enough, on my head, I could tell you what it weighed because it felt heavier. We'll weigh the DJI with the Action 5 with the fitting on it. We are at 184 grams. With the case, I think you're looking at 214 grams with the case, with the mount and all that. The GoPro by itself with that, we are 177 grams. And I think it comes in at 1720 milliamps. The weight on that battery is 32 grams. And then on the DJI, I think they're 1950. So it is a bigger battery. Now, I'm comparing this to what probably most of you have, which is a GoPro 10, 11, or 12. It is 32 grams. So they're pretty close. They're pretty close in size. By the way, check out how DJI did their battery door. A genius way of doing the battery door. And it doesn't fall off. Check out GoPros. So GoPros actually, I don't like this. It goes down like this, and it's a little hard to get with wet, cold fingers. It's hard to get that open. Actually, see, that's another thing that I'm telling you from a paddler's, how many times we have wet, cold fingers and we're trying to get in there and get that down. And then here's what happens with this, by the way. If you just barely, I mean, just watch. That went right in the river. We are in big trouble. You better have a spare battery door with you. Check out how that one, I think you have to actually twist that off. I'm not going to twist it off because it works so good. That's a feature on DJI that they nailed. They got that right there. Another feature that maybe not a lot of people care about for kayaking, but I care about it because I use it for other reviews, is the way it hooks up to mics. Now, I have the DJI Mic 2, so I have my Mic 2s right here. I'm actually on it right now. Now, this camera right here needs a media mod to hook an external mic that also gives you the ability to put a light and things like that on there. You have to get this stupid media mod, and I hate that interface. It does have Bluetooth on it, and you can Bluetooth to it, but it sounds terrible. This works flawlessly together. These two items right here work flawlessly together. If you want to do kind of like interviews or something, or kind of like talk to other people, or just kind of walk and do some sort of review, this is what I recommend, getting a set of mics, and it works perfectly with this DJI Action 5. I think that's a great feature that DJI did on that. What else DJI did really well? The interface. The interface is amazing. The button, look how it turns on, very quick to turn on. Look how smooth that interface is. It's got a very clean interface, works well. You can go through all the settings. I'm not going to go through a lot of settings and all that, but there is something on here called internal storage. Genius idea. It's a simple things, but a genius idea. GoPro does not have internal storage. If you have a SD card era or you forgot your SD card, you can always just quick over to your internal, switch to internal storage, and then you're good to go. I got 50 gigs in reserve right there. That's awesome. That was a really smart feature that DJI did on it. Big front screen, but like I said, that's not really matters as a paddler. These buttons, the buttons feel kind of weird on these, and they're not as loud. The DJI is not as loud as the GoPro. I think that GoPro beep is a little louder, and the buttons are easier to mash. It's got a just easier, smoother mash to it. They're in kind of the same spot, and the thickness seems to be, the GoPro seems to be thicker, but it's smaller overall, and it's lighter overall. So why does that matter? Well, it matters when it's on your head a lot, and you're moving your head around. So before I get to the actual video comparison, what I thought right away, there's one thing that I found right away from using both of them over an extended amount of time. The sound on the DJI, phenomenal. Some of the best sound, which matters to me doing on-water reviews. The mic, they've figured out how to get perfect sound out of these mics. Ambient sound, river sounds, and my voice. I'm telling you, it's because, you know why? They make some of the best mics to ever exist. Eat that, Rode. But it's like the GoPro has this muffled sound. Now, I've tried different things with GoPro running, and I think water gets in this front screen right here, and it kind of muffles it a little bit. You get that kind of weird water sound, and I think that's a problem right there, too. The interface on GoPro definitely needs upgraded. I think it will be improved in maybe the 14. That's why I skipped the 13. When I got to 12, I was going to get a 13, and there just was not enough innovation. You know, they put a new mount on. They put a couple little innovations in there, made a bigger battery. But I was like, you know what? I don't really worry about that much battery life anyway. The battery life is definitely better on the DJI than the GoPro. But honestly, I mean, usually one battery does me the entire day. And then I keep this with me so I have extra batteries when I need it. The Rocksteady, the Hyper Smooth, almost the same. The View, Hyper View, Ultra View, almost the same. Everything was the same. Low life performance, once again, that's a feature us as kayakers. We're not paddling at night. It doesn't really matter anyway. Low light performance doesn't really matter. But what does matter, this videos that come out of this is very over sharpened. For whatever reason, the quality is very sharp and it looks very digitized. GoPro has this smooth kind of look to me still. Now, I'm going to show you some video without color. I did no color grading, nothing. This is straight out of the camera. I'm running them. So the GoPro, let's just go ahead. The settings should still all be the same. Now there is, somebody else was like, oh, well, you know, they have a, you know, you could have a pre-record feature. Well, they've had that hindsight feature on this for a while. You got hindsight. I think it's useless. Me personally, I never used it to pre-record. It is a little quicker on its response for turning on. You guys see how quickly it turns on there? I've got it in 4K by 60, Rocksteady ultra wide, 4K by 60 hyper view. Bit rate is high on both of them. What you're going to see in this clip is exactly both of them mounted side by side, just like this, and I'll let you guys decide which one you think is better, which one you think is worse. To me, I think I give them almost a tie. I'm going to continue to use both of them. I have been using more DJI because I don't know, there's something about it that's just drawing me in. I can't explain it, everybody. I cannot explain it, but I'm drawn into this DJI, but I'll still be using my GoPro from time to time. I'll actually carry both with me, and it depends on the day, depends on which one I use, because to me, they both look really good. I think no matter what, you can't go wrong with either one. I will leave links down below to everything you've seen in this video and what I use. Oh, I forgot to mention the tether. Check out the tether. So I run this tether on my GoPro. And let me tell you where there's a problem with the DJI. We are trusting our entire camera to these two little clips right here. And would they, in a hard hit, would that clip break off? I don't know. The thing is, I cannot tether this camera. On GoPro, what I do, I run this tether. Now, if I'm going to do this same thing on the DJI, but it's kind of pointless because I think your failure point is these two clips right here. And once again, that's a thing in mountain biking and other sports. It don't matter. It breaks off in mountain biking. You just turn around, go around and pick it up. It breaks off on the river. Well, you're just out a whole camera. And ask a lot of people that lost GoPros how that feels. Now, where the failure point is on a GoPro is this clip right here. These are metal screwed in. You're probably not going to break that, but where it is going to break, it's going to break right here on this clip. inside the actual mount right here. Now, what that would do, that means this would dangle like that from this pole. Oh, I had this little thumb screw. I always go with these thumb screws. You know, that's something DJI just included with theirs, but that's nothing new. I've been going with that type of thumb screw so I can really put a good torque on it anyway. Once again, there'll be a link to that thumb screw if you're curious where I got that. And you see how that works? Now, see, I can do that same thing on the DJI, but you know what? It's not going to really help me much if it breaks in those clips right there. Now, I haven't heard of anyone breaking one. Leave in the comments below if you've lost one. Maybe they have broken and I just don't know anything about it. So yeah, but so far, I mean, it feels solid. It feels solid on your head. It's a little higher mounted too. Personally, I wish there was an option to have that either with or without it. That's me personally, but you know what? It is what it is. So yeah, there's my kind of like long-winded kind of like review of the DJI Action 5 versus the GoPro. Let me go ahead, click over to some video, and you guys check it out. It's a lap that I did where I was wearing them both at the exact same time, and you make the decision. So yeah, everybody leave a comment below which one you like better, if you think you're going to go with DJI or GoPro, or which one is worse, and which one you think might be a better option for kayaking, because right now, I'm tied. I'll go either way. So yeah, there it is, everybody. That's all I got today, and I will see y'all on the river. Okay, so we're gonna put these two to the test. We got the DJI Action 5 and the GoPro Hero 12. Now the settings on both of these are almost as identical as possible as what I can get. It's hyper view and ultra view, rock steady on, and let's just go. Now, as far as the lenses getting wet, they've been about the same to me. Now, as far as the lenses getting wet, they've been about the same to me. I'm feeling that weight up there. Guys, I'm sacrificing my neck for this review. Ooh, I'm feeling that weight up there. Guys, I'm sacrificing my neck for this review. Oh, I'm feeling that. Oh boy. As far as weight, I think the DJI is a little heavier on its weight. I've been using them both kind of off and on. Oh, I'm feeling that. Oh boy. As far as weight, I think the DJI is a little heavier on its weight. I've been using them both kind of off and on.